Welcome to the bold analysis. Hassan Joho today met Raila in a city hotel a day after leading the coastal leaders in a meeting with the UDA caucus, a meeting that has attracted media attention for the last 24 hours. And in the photo that you can see here, this is the exclusive photo that have come from that meeting between Hassan Joho and Raila. And at the time I was sharing this podcast, it had not been shared by either of those leaders. But this meeting happened, and it is politically important because it is coming when Hassan Joho is trending. And the reason why Hassan Joho is trending is the fact that he is seen to be warming up to William Samoei Ruto, or rather to the UDA party. Now, this meeting was actually, according to me, this meeting was meant to achieve two objectives. Number one, Hassan Joho was affirming ties with Raila. Because amongst all those leaders that attended, I realized the meeting was attended by both all elected leaders and former governors and other leaders that had also served in the county, in the coastal and the 6 coastal counties. There's a feeling that Hassan Joho is finally leaving ODM party. And number two, that meeting also confirms that Raila was aware of the meeting that happened. But I need to make a clarification. The meeting happened in a Nairobi hotel. Contrary to the media reports that had emerged that meeting was in Mombasa. That meeting was held here in Nairobi, and I do believe Hassan Joho is still in Nairobi. So, and of course, there is one point that you need to agree, that Hassan Joho has not been in the limelight. And after yesterday's meeting, there are quite a number of political developments that emerged. Number one was that there was a mooted plan to form a new political movement for the coastal region. So as well as that movement will take a political party or just a movement or just a unit of leaders, it's something that yet to be confirmed. But if you look at the photo, I want you to look at the photo seeing on the screen. Look at the way that arrangement was when they were making that press briefing. You will see Hassan Joho in the middle, then Waziri Jumwa, then on the other side there was Amason Kingi, then Mombasa governor on that end. You'll realize that Joho was given prominence in that meeting. And even when they were making that press briefing, I think he was one of the people that was chosen to make the speech. Yesterday, there was also a plan or a proposal for the team to meet William Ruto at a later date so that they will plan on coastal development. It was never still agreed on which date, but those were also plans in the background. As you can see, I analyzed yesterday and I said yesterday's meeting was part of a wider scheme. It was a net being created. It was a house being built to accommodate one man, Ali Hassan Joho. And in this podcast, I will explain to you why William Ruto actually is urgently fishing for Hassan Joho. Of all the coastal leaders you can see, I can tell you, Joho, even the fact that Joho is still not in government or is not in an elective position, but Joho is still more popular in the coastal region than even Amason Kingi and Aisha Jumwa combined. And there is something about this that William Ruto is looking at. Now, as some political pundits or another context that we can also link to this is the fact that the ODM party or Raila has dropped a hint on intention to back Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And backing Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, I analyze here that it is a card that was very accommodative. I try to link my podcast so that if you watch one, you will always realize that there is consistency in terms of how they're put. So if you revert to that, if you watch that podcast, and I think it's this one here, where I spoke about Kalonzo card that Raila was vouching, is that there was the point of other regions will ask Raila, what is in it for us? So as things are going on now, there is also political posturing, and Raila Odinga seems to be hinting at supporting Kalonzo Musyoka. Now, reportedly, one of the things that have been happening, and what would be the interest of Hassan Joho in this country now, is to protect the business interests of the Joho family. That since Kenya Kwanza came into power, there have been a lot of political instability, or rather the stability, business stability of the Joho family has been affected by some policies that have been thrown left, right, and center, especially the controversial Mombasa port. So, but yesterday we saw the press briefing where they unanimously supported a position that they will not allow the port to be privatized. So the privatization is something that, this is a war that William Ruto will not take lightly, because he tried it in Western and it failed. So he was trying another one in the 3 coastal counties, Lamu, Mombasa, and Shimoni, and it seems there is a bit of resistance from the county leaders. But I want to confine myself to a very key point. Your meeting Raila Odinga, I've said, is to ensure the ties are there. But as the big catch is this, why is William Ruto fishing for Hassan Joho? That is the question I want to answer in this podcast. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. Do keep it here, because my next video, I know people have been asking about Mashujaa Day, the event in Kericho. Make sure you remain in this podcast, because I have 2 videos on the Kericho Mashujaa Day. So I think I have a packed podcast for you. Make sure you subscribe, because here, if you did hear it here, then it is just a mere propaganda. Ladies and gentlemen, Kalonzo candidature is actually complicating Mombasa vote for Raila Odinga, for William Ruto. And I know, contrary to public pronouncements by William Ruto, that Kalonzo Musyoka is a lightweight to him. Kalonzo Musyoka is a very complicated and secret lethal card that Kenya Kwanza cannot underestimate. And the reason why William Ruto is rushing for Hassan Joho is because he understands that William Ruto or Raila Odinga would actually craft a plan of even making Joho being in the top ticket in the Azimio la Umoja. If Joho is to remain, the probability of giving Hassan Joho even a prime cabinet secretary, or a vice president, which I don't believe will be still viable, but the probability of Joho being part of the matrix is high. And that is why William Ruto is trying all means to withdraw Hassan Joho from Azimio la Umoja. I know many people are still denying, but as things go, I don't see Raila Odinga in the presidential contest 2027. You can, people can argue on different grounds, but from where I'm seated, I don't see Raila Odinga there. And William Ruto just want to ensure that, he tried in 2027, in 2022, and he got Amason Kingi, but still Kilifi did not move. Kilifi voted for Raila to the last man, and he got Aisha Juma. He got both Aisha Juma and Kingi from Kilifi. One CS, one was given speaker, but they did bring more votes compared even to Mombasa. So I think he has realized that that experiment of Kina Kingi did not work well, and Kingi did not have influence beyond Kilifi, the little influence he had in Kilifi, and that is why he's looking for Hassan Joho. The second reason, I think William Ruto just wants to dismantle Raila Odinga machinery ahead of 2027. So that even if Raila Odinga will endorse another candidate, and I want us to be open, not even to be Kalonzo Musyoka. Let's try to imagine it's possible. Look at a situation where Mudavadi or Rigathi Gachagua feels like they're going for presidency and need the support of Raila Odinga or Uhuru Kenyatta. If whoever Raila is going to endorse, because William Ruto knows very well that Raila may not win the ballot. Now, whoever Raila is going to endorse is going to have more power. Is going to have a very big machinery. So, Kalonzo, you know that if Raila endorses someone, Raila has a machinery that has to be handed over. And part of that machinery is the ODM. That is why it is there. And they want to dismantle this machinery. I want to tell you this. Remember Oparanya, when his house was raided by ESCC and some cash even taken there and all that, he came out and said that he has been receiving calls and push from the UDA wing for him to support William Ruto. The two are deputy party leaders of ODM party. So you also need to remember that Hassan Joho is the deputy party leader of the ODM. So that's one of the reasons. If you take Hassan Joho, it will be a double loss apart from him being a campaign machinery, because he was so lethal against William Ruto. You will actually realize that he is also dismantling the ODM party. And that will be the big thing. Because even as we speak, there is a push and pull about Raila Odinga wants to overhaul the election boards of the ODM party, wants to overhaul the election board of the ODM party. And so this is some of the things that are on table. Number 3. The UDA, William Ruto is fishing for new UDA linchpin in the coast. UDA do not have someone to bank on in the coast. Contrary to politics of ideology, 2027, I don't think we are going to talk about ideology. William Ruto is going to revert back to the regional kingpins. And looking at Mohamed Jichopevu, recently Mohamed Jichopevu led some mass action in Nairobi and Mombasa against the LGBTQ. And people were wondering, how will he lead a protest against government that he serves in? You know? And then, the Mohamed Jichopevu is also having fights with Hassan Omar. And both two, who are supposed to be the focal people, to be the image, the face of UDA party in Mombasa, they have actually failed to click. And that is why William Ruto is seeing a potential in Hassan Joho. I can tell you this. Any other person leaving ODM party or leaving Raila Odinga to join UDA is not joining government directly. The first destination you need to go to is the UDA party. That is why people like Kidero made suicidal decisions. When they were joining William Ruto, they thought they would join William Ruto as Kidero and then form the government and so. But remember, the day before the list of CS was to be announced, Kidero, Gumbo, one of person that I really supported for governor in Siaya, I think let's just do, and Charles Owino, and a host of those other Nyanza leaders, they all trooped to UDA headquarters. And actually, they were used for UDA sensitization campaigns in Nyanza. And before that, then they were to be given some positions here and there. So what would happen if Hassan Joho is to cross over? Hassan Joho will actually, the first stop after State House meeting will be to go to UDA headquarters. And then from that, Malala will start now forming up some team that we're going to do some sensitization in Mombasa and that. That is the direction that it will take. And that is one of the reasons why Hassan Joho is looking at it. Lastly, Ruto wants to play perceptional politics. Hassan Joho is one of the strongest critics of William Ruto since 2013. You know, I want you to think about the campaign mood. how Hassan Joho was hitting William Ruto, even towards 2022 and 2017. So when you get the support, you know Ruto is losing popularity. And Hassan Joho has attraction beyond Mombasa. Beyond Mombasa. But again, that traction is only there with Raila. That is the problem. So he knows that when I get Hassan Joho, I will tone down the kind of hate or harshness that I've been getting from the other side. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my position. And let's meet in the next podcast, where I am going to look at what happened in Kericho, and I have something very good for you also from Kenya today. So kindly make sure you subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.